You know that feeling, right? You've got this amazing idea, you're excited about it, but then the presentation just bombs. It falls completely flat. We've all been there. So today, we're going to dig into the art of turning those snooze fest slide decks into stories that actually stick with people. So let's get real for a second. Why are so many presentations just so boring? I mean, think about the last one you sat through that made you want to check your email. I bet it was a wall of text, wasn't it? Or maybe the speaker was just reading every single word right off the screen. Yeah, there's a reason this happens all the time, and it really boils down to a huge misunderstanding of what a presentation is even for. Okay, so let's give our enemy a name. I love this one, the bullet-riddled corpse. It's a fantastic name for an absolutely awful experience, right? This is that slide that's just a giant wall of text. And what do? Our brains can't help it. We read the whole thing in like 10 seconds. And then we have to sit there trapped while the presenter slowly, painfully reads the exact same words out loud to us. It's just, it's like our ears are getting nothing new while our eyes got overloaded minutes ago. So how do we fight back? How do we defeat this presentation villain? Well, the secret weapon is actually pretty simple. It's all about understanding the one thing, the one crucial ingredient that makes a presentation totally different from a document. And that secret ingredient is time. Think about it like this. When you're reading a document, you're the one in control, right? The reader. You can skip to the end, you can reread a paragraph, you can go at your own pace. But in a presentation, suddenly the presenter is in the driver's seat. You get to control the time. You dictate the pace. You decide when to reveal the next piece of the puzzle. Honestly, getting good at presentations is really just about getting good at controlling time. You're taking your audience on a journey that you get to design.
So, what are your tools for controlling this flow of time? It really comes down to two basic things in any presentation software: transitions and animations. Transitions are pretty straightforward, right? They're the bridges that take you from one slide to the next. But animations are where the magic happens. They let you build a story inside of a single slide, revealing one piece of information at a time. Okay, enough theory. Let's actually see how this works.
All right, let's take a look at a real-world example. We're going to try and explain a kind of technical concept. It's called feature branching in software development. But don't worry about the details. The point is to see how we can use time to transform what could be a really confusing diagram into a story that actually makes sense. Okay, so here's the wrong way to do it. This is what most of us would do, right? Just slap the whole complicated diagram up on the screen, but look what happens. Your eyes immediately go to that big, messy part at the end. You already know something bad happens. The story's over before it even began. The suspense is totally gone. Now your audience is just sitting there, bored, waiting for you to walk them through something they already figured out. Yeah, that's no good. So instead of spoiling the ending right at the start, a great presenter builds the story piece by piece. So let's hit rewind and try this again. But this time, let's do it the right way. Okay, here we go. We start simple, with a clean slate. Let's just say these 3 lines represent 3 different teams working on a project. We introduce them, and then we show the very first time their work comes together. See? A nice simple merge. The story's just getting started. It feels totally manageable. And now the audience is with me wondering, okay, what happens next? And now we add the next piece of the story. More work gets done, and we have another merge. But look, you can see the teams are working separately for a bit longer this time. We're building a little bit of tension here. The audience can literally see the complexity start to grow, but they still have no idea where this is all heading. They're still right there with us, step for step. And then, bam, here's the finale. This is what happens when those teams stay separate for way too long. That final merge is a huge, chaotic, painful mess. By building up to this moment, the visual has so much more impact. It's not just some random diagram anymore, is it? It's a powerful story with a clear moral. This way of working is a terrible idea. Huge difference, right? Okay, so this whole idea brings up a really important point. You have to realize that not every slide deck you make is actually a presentation. It's so important to know the difference in what you're creating. All right, let's break it down. A presentation is meant to be delivered by a live speaker. The slides are just one half of the equation. The speaker is the other half. That's why the slides should feel a little incomplete on their own. Now, an info deck is totally different. That's a document that's meant to be emailed around and read by itself. It needs to have all the information right there. So here's the litmus test. If your slides have every single word you plan to say written on them, you haven't made a presentation, you've made an info deck. And honestly, you should just email it to everyone and save them an hour of their life. All right, you ready for a more advanced move, a pro-level technique? Once you really get that you're in control of two channels, what they see and what they hear, you can start playing them against each other in really powerful ways. And sometimes the most powerful way to get everyone's attention is to show them absolutely nothing. I know it sounds a little weird, but trust me, this is one of the most powerful tools you have. So, picture this. You've got two things going on, your voice and the slide on the screen. The audience's attention is split. But what happens if you suddenly turn one of those channels off, if the screen just goes black? Well, everyone's focus has to go somewhere, and it snaps right back to the only thing left, you. A blank slide instantly makes you the center of the universe. Every eye in the room is on you, and every ear is hanging on your next word. So when do you pull out this secret weapon? Well, you use it when you're about to make your most critical point. You use it when you want to tell a quick personal story and really connect. Or maybe you just need to shift the energy in the room. It's also perfect for when you're answering a really important question from the audience and you want zero distractions. Look, at the end of the day, this is about so much more than just making pretty slides. It's really about leadership. It's about influence. As this quote says, if you have a great vision, but you can't convince anyone to sign on, that vision is going nowhere. Your ideas are important. They deserve a voice. And learning how to tell a powerful story is how you give those ideas a real fighting chance in the world. So, I want to leave you with a question to think about. What about you? What's the one story, the one idea you have that you really need to tell more effectively? And how are you going to use these ideas, controlling time, commanding focus, to make sure that this time people really, truly listen?